people on this world, on this earth right now, that come against us, that hate us. Let's go to Luke 19 and 27. Because if we have enemies, that means the Most High has enemies. That means Christ has enemies. And with these enemies, you're supposed to do something to them when the day of judgment comes. Go ahead, read it.
The book of Luke, chapter 19, verse 27. But these mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
Now that's Christ. That's Christ right there. That's red letters. So let's let you know, if Christ has enemies, then the Most High must have enemies. And if the Most High has enemies, that means we have enemies. Now you might ask, who are our enemies? Well, let's get into it. Let's go to Psalms 83. Psalms 83, start at verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace. And be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
So a tumult is kind of like an agreement or a council. These enemies, these nations were making a kind of like a agreement. Let's see what that agreement was. Let's see what it was supposed to do.
Thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So you see here, they meeting, you know, they having their secret meetings, and they taking crafty counsel. They coming up with ways to do things to a certain type of people, to a certain people. Let's see who those certain people were.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel,
who?
Israel,
who?
Israel, may be no more in remembrance.
So I got a question for you. If the name of Israel is no longer supposed to be in remembrance, who is those people that are calling themselves the Jewish in Israel right now?
Bring it out.
Because according to right here in Psalms 83, their name is supposed to be cut off. Nobody even supposed to know who they are. So why is it today in 2019 we have people calling themselves Jewish in the land of Israel, when right here we just read that they're going to be cut off and their name should be no more in remembrance. Read.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate, meaning they're all on one accord. They're all coming together for one purpose. And that, as we just read, that was to cut us off from being a nation. Well, let's go from there. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24, we can start verse 6. Right, so what we're doing right here is we about to go into who our enemies are.
Bring it out, huh?
We're supposed to see who we are not supposed to like and who the Most High definitely doesn't like. Let's go to Matthew 24, verse 6.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
So right now in 2019, are there wars going on right now? Are we not in Iraq? Are we not in Afghanistan, in Africa, in Syria? Are we not in South Korea? Is Russia not threatening with China against America? So is there wars and rumors of wars? I believe so. Read.
For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation.
Nation shall rise against nation. That means certain people of a certain nationality are going to rise up against other people. Well, let's see who don't like the so-called blacks and the so-called Latinos and the so-called Native Americans. I know Edomites don't like us, the so-called white man, which is really not white, he's red. We got the Moabs, the Asians, the Chinese, you know, the Ammonites, the Japanese, and we got the Ishmaelites. They all in our communities right now, profiting off of us, keeping us under their thumb. You got a question? Sorry, you got a question? You just listening? All right, all praises, all praises. All right, so go ahead, keep reading.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places.
How many earthquakes did we have last year? How many earthquakes? We had earthquakes and tsunamis hitting all over the world. Now, according to the media, they're going to tell you that it's the weather, it's Mother Nature. That's the Most High God. That's Yahweh. He's getting vengeance against all these wicked and evil nations. All these nations that had something to do with the enslavement of the Native Americans, the blacks, so-called blacks, and the so-called Latinos. Every single nation has played a part in our demise, right? And we read that in Psalms 83, right? So let's go from there. Let's go to Jeremiah 28 and 8.
Bring it out, huh?
You go ahead and read when you got it.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied, both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
So all the prophets that came before us did the same thing that we're doing now. We're coming out here in the streets, talking to our people, prophesying against America, against all these wicked nations. They all talked about how evil and how wicked these people are, and they weren't scared of any of the repercussions that can happen to them. Same thing we talk about it. Same thing we talk about. America's gonna fall. America's a bastard nation. America is nothing but steal, kill, and just oppress everybody. You cannot go to any nation in this country or in this world where America doesn't have an embassy, where America is not trying to get them to be a democracy, pushing homosexuality, pushing pedophilia and everything on everybody in this world. But you know what? They will always talk bad about those countries who rebel against them. You can't go to Iraq and try to sell homosexuality and pedophilia without them coming against America. And guess what? They tell you those are the terrorists. They tell you those are the people you need to watch out for. But like Muhammad Ali said, why would I go and fight a war against people that never done nothing to me? It's you people here in America, you Edomites, who oppress me, who kill me, who harm my people, who feed us poison, who inject our kids with poison just so they can go get what you call a higher education, a higher learning. But all you're doing is dumbing them down and feeding them false philosophies and white supremacy. That's all America does. That's all America does. And I'm sorry, you know, if any of you guys feel like you love America, I'm gonna ask you this: does America love you? Because if America loves you, then why do you live over here on King of Crenshaw? Why are you at the bus stops? Why are you at the bottom of society right now? Because if America loved you and it was all equal like they say, why are we not in Beverly Hills? If it was all equal, why are they coming and pushing you out of your own neighborhoods just so so-called white people can come move in? They raise the rent. They make it to where you can't even afford it if you wanted to stay. But these are our enemies. This is the people I'm talking about. This is what I'm going into right now. Well, let's see how the Most High feels about our enemies. What the Most High wanted us to do to our enemies. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7. You can start at verse 1. Go ahead, read it when you got it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee. So
this is around the time that Moses was around, right? We were in the wilderness for 40 days, and Moses was making a decree. He said, all right, when we get our land, when the Lord sends us to get our land, this is what you must do to the inhabitants of the land. So we can get our own country, we can get our own nation, and we can worship our God. Go ahead and read.
The Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivitites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee.
So it's saying right here, when our God sends us to go get this land, when he sends us to go get our holy land that was promised to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, this is what we're supposed to do to our enemies. Read.
Thou shalt smite them.
Thou shalt kill them.
And utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them.
Show no mercy. So where do I get God is love? Where does that come from? Because if God loved everybody, then why are we killing these people? Why are we showing them no mercy? Read.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For thou wilt turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly.
Right, right. So here we're seeing that the Most High God, he sent us into our promised land, into Israel, and there was already heathen there. There was already Hamites there. He told us, look, you need to go ahead and put them out of their misery, kill them all off, don't make no covenants with them, don't do any business with them. This is your land, take it back, right? So where's the love, right? I heard God was love. Where's the love there? He said, show them no mercy. Go from there. Let's go. 2 Samuel chapter 22.
Bring them precepts out, huh?
That's right. Because today, I'm sorry, a lot of y'all gonna get y'all feelings hurt, but you know what? The word got to come out anyway. Christians will tell you that it's all about love, that it's all about grace and all that kind of stuff. But we're gonna bring it out how the Bible says. Go ahead and read 2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 2 and 3.
2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 2. And he said, the Lord is my rock, and my fortress, and my deliverer, the God of my rock, and him will I trust.
Right, and the Most High we will trust. Not in America, not in your pastor pork chop and your bishop bacon. Nah, we don't trust in them. We trust in the Most High God, right?
That's right.
Read.
He is my shield and the horn of my salvation.
Let's hold on real quick. All right, so the Most High God, he is our salvation. He sent his son, our Mashiach Yahawashi, who, you know, some people know him as Jesus Christ, but, you know, that's not his real name. His real name is Yahawashi. He and his father are our horn of salvation. He is our shield. He is our savior. Read.
My high tower and my refuge, my savior. Thou savest me from violence.
Right, and that's going to be the only person that can save us from violence. Because if you ever notice, when there's a shooting of an unarmed black man or anything like that, you never see the Christian church come out. You never see them come out and talk about none of this stuff. Talk against America. You know why? Because they got a 501c3 and they're not permitted to. Well, look it up. 501c3 for churches. See what it says. They are not allowed or permitted to talk negative in any kind of way against America or anything like that. They have a doctrine that they have to push, right? Well, let's see what the Most High God said we need to do for the people who oppress us, the people who slaughter us.
Bring it out,
the people who took this land. Let's go to Isaiah 14, chapter 21, or chapter 14, verse 21. Because it was a special decree that was put out for a certain race of people. And we're gonna see what that is. Go ahead and read it.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children.
Nah, prepare love.
Prepare slaughter for his children.
Read.
For the iniquity of their fathers.
Wait. They didn't have nothing to do with it. That was their forefathers, right?
Prepare slaughter for his children. For the iniquity of their fathers.
Read.
That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Right, so all these so-called white people, these Edomites, say, you know what? I didn't do this to you. That was my forefather. That was hundreds of years ago. But they still reap the benefits.
That's right. That's right.
They still reap the benefits. They still living in Beverly Hills and West Covina and all these nice places where we can't afford to live. They still reap the benefits. They are taught in schools to be owners of companies while we are taught to be employees. Be a good Negro. Be a good slave. Right? So whenever somebody tells you, no, that wasn't me, well, the God says different. Our God says different. He says they gotta pay for what they did, because guess what? When them slave ships came, I guarantee you not 100% of them slaves was wicked. Some of the righteous slaves had to go into slavery right along with the good ones, right? So we need to prepare slaughter. We need to prepare for all these wicked people who are running the world, because as it says here, they're going to take over the world, which they have done. Give me Job 9:24.
Bring it out, right?
Can I ask you a question? Who runs this world? What race of people runs the entire world? Esau, white man. Well, let's see what God says. We got some Edomites rolling by right now, probably. And we got the happy Jake in there to go beat up one of his own people, just waiting to go do something. We got Job 9:24.
The book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Nah, they righteous, man.
The wicked.
They help all the other countries, give them money.
The wicked.
Read.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
If it's not the white man, then you show me somebody. You show me somebody that's running the whole world right now. You show me somebody that's doing wickedness on levels not even imaginable. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know in the public school system, they teach it now, it's okay for you to be a homosexual. They teach it, it's okay for you to be a sodomite. Or if you want to be a girl, you 4 years old, 5 years old, you want to be a girl, it's okay to dress like a girl if you're a boy. If you're a boy and you feel like you want to be a girl, it's okay. Right? But when I was young, we had to stand into the Pledge of Allegiance and said, in God we trust. Well, God hates sodomites. So why are you teaching our kids to be sodomites? Why are you teaching our kids to be homosexuals, to be transgender? What is a transgender? That thing is new. Man, oh man.
Bring it out, right? Teach your people.
Oh man. So, if God is love and God has no enemies, right? Then why would he tell us to arm ourselves? Why as a nation of people is it a commandment for us, given by our Mashiach Yahushua, who some people call Jesus Christ? Why would he tell us that it is a must that you be armed? Let's go to Luke 22:36.
Bring it out.
Because, you know, contrary to proper belief, you know, they say turn the other cheek. You know, if somebody hits you, give them the other cheek. Well, I mean, let's see if that's what it says. Let's see if that's what our Lord and Savior said. Go ahead, read when you got it.
The book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 36. Then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one.
So we're supposed to turn the cheek to all nations, right? We're supposed to just let them do whatever the hell they want to do to us. Then why is it here that he's saying, if you don't have a sword, which the sword is a modern day gun, you don't have a sword, sell your garment, sell your scrip, buy you one. It's imperative that you have one, right? Because you're like 50 said, get the strap, you know. But if it wasn't important, if it was a God of love and he didn't hate anybody and everything was kumbaya, then why do we need to have a sword? A sword is only used for one thing I know, is that's to kill people, right? I don't think you like cut steak or nothing with a sword, right?
It's a knife.
You know, yeah, you use a knife to cut. Use a sword to kill. All right, let's stay in that. Let's stay in that chapter. Let's go to verse. Let's go to verse 49 and 50. Go ahead, read when you got it.
The book of Luke, chapter 22, and verse 49. When they which were about him saw what would follow, they said unto him, Lord, shall we smite with the sword? And one of them smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his right ear.
Right. So what the Christian church try to tell you is, you know, Christ was all love and his disciples were all love. Well, this shows you right here. Christ had 12 armed disciples. He had 12 bodyguards ready to put in work whenever they need to be.
Bring it out!
When they came to come get Christ to come crucify him, cut off his ear. Now Christ did heal the man's ear, you know, because it wasn't really him doing the wickedness. It was, you know, it was the higher up people. But this shows you, Christ had 12 armed bodyguards. So where does this all love thing come from? Where's this turn the other cheek? Where is it? Show it to me. We turn the other cheek against our own, with our own people, but not against the enemy. Because none of these people over here is your enemy. All this is love right here, right? I'm gonna go off script real quick. Let's see what love is, because when they say God is love, they are kind of correct. But what is love? Can anybody tell me what love is? Keeping the commandments. Good. All right, let's go to 1 John 5 and 3. And let's see what love is according to the Bible.
Bring it out, huh?
The book of 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. For this is love, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Well, nah. Love is like sending flowers and telling you I love you and all that kind of stuff, right?
For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
Keeping his commandments. Because if I love my brother, I wouldn't kill you because I love you. I wouldn't steal from you. I wouldn't sleep with your wife. I wouldn't do you any kind of harm. I wouldn't do you any kind of ill because I love you. That's love. Well, let's see. Does it say this anywhere else in the Bible? Let me get 2 John chapter 6 or verse 6. Then we're gonna get back on we're gonna get back on schedule after that.
The book of 2 John verse 6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it.
Right. So that's love. All right. Enough of love for right now. Let's go see what's supposed to happen to people who don't love us. Let me get Habakkuk 2 and 12. Because can anybody tell me how America came to be? Can anybody over there? How did America get started? Anybody? Nobody? Native American? Nobody never heard of the Native Americans? Christopher Columbus? Nobody? Well, I'll tell you. America got started on bloodshed, rape, theft, and deception. It's simple. Simple. They came to this country. Okay, if this is supposed to be the country of Native Americans, how many of y'all know a Native American? Nobody? Nobody knows a Native American? Why is that? They've been slaughtered. They've been killed. Less than 2% of America's population is native people of this country. Well, the Most High God has something to say about that. You got it? All right, go ahead, read it.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth the town with blood.
Woe means destruction, slaughter, damnation. Read.
And establish a city by iniquity.
By sin. All right, go from there. Go to Isaiah chapter 40, verse 15. Because I also hear something about God, that he loves all nations and that he is the God of all nations. Well, I guess we're going to have to cut that too. Go ahead and read.
The book of Isaiah chapter 40, verse 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance.
Read.
Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing.
Read.
And Lebanon is not significant.
Go to 17.
All nations before him are as nothing.
No, they all are loved by the Most High.
Are as nothing.
They're all his children.
Are as nothing.
It says right there in the Bible, all the nations besides the nation of Israel, the chosen people of God, are as nothing. There is a drop of a bucket. If you had a bottle of water and you dropped one little drop, would you try to pick it up and drink it? No, you got a whole big bottle of water. They don't care about y'all. Give me 2 Ezra 6 and 56. Start at 54.
They say they like spit.
Like spittle. But he didn't make them for a certain reason. Every nation on this earth was made for a certain reason. In every kingdom that's ever been on this earth, you had a ruling class and you had a servile class. Unfortunately, we are the servile class right now, but we were built for royalty.
That's right.
Go ahead and read. What I'll tell you. 54.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 54. And after these Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
So right there you have a distinction between two people. You have the people that are chosen by God, and then there's the rest of the other people. Read.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Made the world for whose sake?
For our sake.
The Israelites, that's right. Keep reading.
As for the other people,
the other people who are not of the 12 tribes of Israel, who are not of the chosen people mentioned in Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Read.
Which also come of Adam.
They also come from Adam.
Thou hast said that they are nothing.
Nothing. We read that in Isaiah chapter 40. Read.
But be like unto spittle.
But be like unto spit. So does anybody have spit in their mouth right now that they love? Anybody? Nobody? I didn't think so. Read.
And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Exactly. Let me get Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 12.
60 and 12?
Yeah, 60 and 12. So like I said earlier, there's always two classes of people. There's a ruling class, and there's a servile class. Yeah, okay. Go ahead, read it.
The book of Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Right. So when our Christ comes back, when our Messiah comes back, Yahweh Shai, there's going to be two classes. There's going to be a servile class, all the righteous Israelites who are going to be in the kingdom, and there's going to be a servile class. It's going to be all the other nations who choose to worship us, well, not worship, but choose us to reign over them, right? If they choose not for us to reign over them, we read that in Luke, right? That they will be destroyed. Well, let's see who's going to teach us how to destroy them. Give me Psalms 144, verse 1 and verse 2. And I'm going to start closing it out. Because there is a final battle coming. There's a battle coming, and it's going to be involving our Messiah Christ. 144 and 2, verse 1 and 2. Then after that, give me Joel chapter 3.
The book of Psalms chapter 144 verse 1. Blessed be the Lord, my strength, which teacheth my hands to war.
And teach my hands to war. What else?
And my fingers to fight.
And my fingers to fight. Read.
My goodness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield, and he be in whom I trust.
Right, we read that in 2 Samuel, didn't we? So all we're seeing is the Bible from the Old Testament to the New Testament is saying the same thing. We have a common enemy, and we have to fight this enemy. We have to stand up for righteousness. Matter of fact, let me get scratch Joel. Let me get Joshua 1 and 8.
Bring it out.
Because I'm running out of time, but I'm gonna leave you with something. I'm gonna leave you with something because if you wanna get that kingdom of heaven, unlike the Christian church tells you, it's not just believe. Because faith without works is dead. There's certain things that we have to do as a dress code that we have, right? You see the things on our shirt, fringes. We're supposed to have fringes with a border of blue, right? Men, pants, women, dresses and skirts, right? Beard on your face. I'm going bald, but I'm not allowed to shave my head bald. It's certain things, it's rules to this, there's levels to this, as they would say in the streets, right? So let's see what the levels of this and what we're supposed to do. Joshua 1 and 8, read.
This book of the law shall not depart out of my mouth.
Book of religion, right?
This book of the law.
Book of Christianity.
The law.
Catholicism.
The law.
Right, read.
Shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. Just the commandments I want to do. According to all that is written therein.
Go from there. Let's go to Deuteronomy 6 and 25. And then I'm going to have one more scripture. After that, give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. I'm going to close it out. So we see, we do have enemies. There is a war coming. You need to be preparing for this war. Also, to make sure you're on the right side of this war, as we just read in Joshua 1 and 8, you need to keep these commandments. Because that's the only way to be righteous. Well, let's back that up. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25.
And it shall be our righteousness, if we observe to do all these commandments.
Some.
All these.
Read.
Before the Lord our God, as he hath commanded us.
All right, let me get Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Because what is the duty of man? What was man created for? What was man put on this earth for? Let's read.
To serve.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
The whole thing, this is what it's all about. Read.
Fear God and keep his commandments.
And with that, I say shalom.